important letter. Describe an important letter that you received. You should say who wrote it, when you received it, what the letter was about, and explain why it was important.
A very important letter that I received actually came from my doctor, believe it or not. I know that sounds a little strange coming from a young person like me. You see, at the time I was in school and was working very hard and neglecting to take care of myself. I was so worried and stressed over my studies that, well, number one, I wasn't eating very well. Then, on top of that, I was spending so much time in the library that I wasn't going outside and getting any exercise. I noticed that I was starting to get sick easily and kind of run down. It was really getting bad. Even my friends noticed my lack of strength and energy, and one of them was so concerned about me that he wrote and mentioned this to my parents, and my mum asked one of her friends, who is a doctor, to give me some advice. Well, this doctor, who I didn't even know, wrote me a long letter and told me flat out that I really needed to have more balance in my life and make sure that I was getting all of the things that I already said I was missing. So, out to the badminton court I went, whether I felt like it or not, eating a good healthy breakfast in the morning, slowing down and taking some time with my friends, and then, before I knew it, I felt so much better. If this doctor hadn't taken the time to write me, I just don't know what would have happened to me. I think my life would be different, and I might not even be sitting here talking with you.
A library. Describe a library that you often go to. You should say what library it is, where it is, what the library looks like, what you do there, and explain why you like this library.
I like to go to a library called the People's Library near my home. It is located on 1st Avenue near Main Street in a very new building that has some beautiful urban sculptures standing on the grounds around it. The library has many floors and each floor has different sections. The first time I went there, I needed a lot of help to find books, but now I feel like it is my second home. When I go to the library, I feel like I am leaving a lot of my worries and cares behind, even if I have to go there to research or study. I think that is because I know I can always find a quiet, private place to read or do my work. And if I want to travel to a different place or a different time, I can do that at the library by finding a book or computer that will take me into another world. I'm particularly interested in this library because it has a lot to offer. Besides having a good stock of books, it also provides office equipment, such as a good copy machine, a bookbinder, many computers and printers, and much more. And it has very good service too. If you need a book in another library, it will obtain that book for you by either shipping it from the other library or purchasing the book.
A film. Describe a film that you have recently seen. You should say what the film was, when and where you saw it, what the film was about, and explain how you felt about this film.
A film that I saw recently was called The Passion of the Christ. I was in my hometown of Chongqing when I saw it when it first came out a few years ago. The film was about the last 24 hours of Jesus' life on earth. It showed when he was in the garden before he was captured and brought before a trial all the way up to when he was crucified and rose up again from out of the grave. It was actually quite moving because the director, Mel Gibson, actually put his own money into making the picture, so he was able to just do it the way that he wanted it done. This movie caused quite an uproar when it was released, as some people really loved it and others hated it. It was in the news for a long time, with a lot of debating going on over it. It ended up making quite a bit of money for Mel Gibson. Everything about it was very beautiful, from the cinematography to the actual scenery. The acting was top-notch. I think the main actor deserved an Academy Award, but anyway, I enjoyed it very much. One of the hardest scenes for me to watch in the movie was where Jesus gets whipped before he is crucified. It was so realistic, I had to hide my eyes. An outdoor activity. Describe an outdoor activity that you like doing. You should say what this activity is, when you do it, where you do it, and explain why you like it.
I really enjoy running. Not the fast sprinting kind of run, but rather the more drawn-out jogging kind of run. I usually like to run when the weather is warm, but not too hot, because if it's too hot, then I'll be sweating like a camel, and will be so thirsty and red from the heat that I can't function for about a half hour after that. Somewhere between 21 and 28 degrees Celsius is a good temperature for running. I extremely dislike running on a track or in wide open spaces, because it makes me feel like I'm not getting anywhere. I think that the best place to run is on a smaller, not so busy street in a nice residential area. But if there isn't a place like that to run near my house, I'll run anywhere, even on a track. One reason that I enjoy running is it's faster than walking and cheaper than taking buses or taxis. Also, running is good for your health. The more you run, the stronger your legs, back and lungs get. I also like the rush that you get when you push yourself farther than you've ever gone before, where you feel like collapsing and keep on running until you don't even feel your legs anymore, and it's just mechanical.
A walk. Describe a walk you take regularly. You should say where and when you walk, who you walk with, what you see on this walk, and explain why you walk.
I remember when I was in Nanjing last year. There was one walk I took extremely often. The walk was from my apartment to my work, about 2.5 kilometers away. I did it every Sunday, there in the early morning and back in the early afternoon. It was the best walk ever. In the mornings, since it was a Sunday, the streets were empty, so it was a really peaceful time. In the summer, I would get to see the sunrise over the city hall, and in the winter, I got to walk in my favorite kind of weather, cold pre-dawn darkness. Every time I would wear my iPod and listen to music that fit the mood of the walk and weather. Then in the afternoon, since Nanjing is such a big tourist draw, I would walk by many happy people on vacation, seeing the sights in town. It made me really pleased to walk by all these people, because they were always really excited to be in Nanjing, and many had their small kids who were always laughing and playing. It was really great to see people enjoying life. Sporting events. Cue card. Describe a sporting event that you enjoyed watching. You should say what the event was, where you watched it, who watched this event with you, and explain why you enjoyed watching this event.
A few years ago, my father took me to a basketball game that was being played at a university. The team were the Shanghai Sharks, and another university team. I can't remember what the team's name was, but they were all dressed in purple and looked quite funny. The game was quite short and only had 2 halves, instead of 4 quarters. I can't remember who won, but it was obvious that the Sharks were playing very soft on the other team. At half-time, some of the Shark team members started throwing signed jerseys into the crowd. I think there were about 10 in all. I really wanted one, but we were so far back that they never reached us. A friend of mine got one, though, and I got to try it on. The atmosphere in the stadium was so exciting. Everyone was shouting, whistling, cheering, and just making noise. I was cheering for the Sharks, and my dad was whistling so loudly that people started looking at us. I was kind of embarrassed, but he didn't care. After the game, we stopped at a snack shop and got some drinks and a snack. I don't think I'll ever forget that game. Foreign cultures. Describe a foreign culture that you are interested in. You should say what this culture is, how you learned about this culture, what you know about this culture, and explain why you feel this culture is interesting.
I have spent most of my time learning Chinese and Chinese culture, but I did have an interesting experience about 1.5 years ago that inspired me to learn about Costa Rican culture. One of my friends spent a semester abroad in Costa Rica in early 2005, and I spent 2 weeks at the beginning of the summer visiting him there. Prior to visiting, I knew almost nothing about the culture, but staying there, even for such a short time, really opened my eyes. Costa Rican culture is extremely different from either American or Chinese culture. 2 of the phrases most often used in Costa Rica are a good illustration of their culture. Pura vida and tranquilo. Pura vida translates as pure life, and tranquilo means calm. Both are used in situations where the level of stress is rising. When Costa Ricans say this phrase, they are telling themselves or others, "Don't worry, chill out." It's an extremely laid-back, relaxed culture. Their main goal in life is to be happy. Work days tend to be shorter, and since the country is so small and borders both the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, it is really easy to go to the beach, so many do just that. When I was there, it was routine to see people getting up around 6 a.m., go to the beach and surf for 2 or 3 hours, work from 10 to 4, go home and eat, then go back to the beach. It was great to see a culture with such a different outlook on life.
Clothing and fashion. Describe an item of clothing that you recently bought. You should say what it is, when and where you bought it, what it looks like, and explain why you bought it.
The last item of clothing that I bought was a pair of boots. I bought them when I went to the silk market on my day off. They are black, tall, and soft. They also look very smart. This pair caught my eye because they were simple and matched my clothes and accessories. I chose them because boots can be worn on many different occasions and still be appropriate. Also, in the winter it's very cold here in Beijing, and it's good to have some warm shoes to wear when you go out. It is popular to wear shoes that have pointy or tight toes, but to me this style looks silly and is very uncomfortable. My boots give my feet plenty of room to be comfortable without looking clumsy and bulky. I'm a little bit short, so I like these boots because they have a high enough heel to make me look average without being awkward or difficult to walk in. Now, of course, one of the most important things for me besides the style is the price, and that is what attracted me to these boots. My friends all tell me that if I went to Europe or America, My boots would have cost me an arm and a leg. No pun intended. Here in China, my boots are very reasonably priced. I guess that would be the final reason why I bought them. Wild animals. Describe a wild animal in China. You should say what the animal is, what it looks like, where it lives, and explain how you feel about this animal.
I'll describe an endangered animal in northeastern China. It's called the Manchurian or Siberian tiger. Manchurian tigers are very impressive animals. Like all tigers, they have orange and black stripes and a white underside and powerful claws and teeth. The largest are nearly 1.5 meters tall and can weigh between 300 and 400 kilos of muscle. They're the largest of the cat family and the most effective and dangerous hunters. They're found all over Siberia and in a few places in northeastern China. They usually hunt and live alone and only meet other tigers during the mating season. I think there are less than 50 of them in the wild in China. There are more kept in captivity in zoos or special parks. There is one wildlife park in Harbin that is famous for its many Manchurian tigers. Most Chinese admire the tiger as a symbol of strength and fierceness. Tigers have had a place in Chinese culture for thousands of years. They are found in Chinese literature, new and old, and are the subject of many famous paintings. But I don't think many Chinese know that this special breed of tigers is all but wiped out in the wild. I hope more efforts will be made in the future to protect the tiger's environment. Without the forests they live and hunt in, Manchurian tigers can only exist in captivity. Electrical appliances. Describe a useful electrical appliance, e.g. a mobile phone or computer, that you use at home or at work. You should say what it is, where it is, how you use it, and explain why this item is important to you.
The most useful piece of equipment is my computer. I use it for both my work and for recreation. It is a laptop, so I can take it with me wherever I go. I usually keep it on the dresser at the end of my bed, though when I use it, I'm usually on my bed or in my armchair. I use it for my research and to read assignments that I have been given. I also use it for my work and writing. It is important to me because I have all of my most important information on it. If I didn't have it, my life would be so much more difficult, because I would have many problems finding all the different things I need to do my work. I also use it to listen to music, so I would have a hard time listening to music if I didn't have it. Often my mother will ask me to type something up for her, and I like to use my laptop for that, because I'm accustomed to using the keyboard on it. Then I can type faster, because I don't have to get used to a new keyboard, and I make less mistakes.